Hello guys, welcome to the Trading Parrot. I woke up this morning and I watched this and I thought, do I really need to prepare an introduction for the video today? I don't think so. Guys, all-time high, the full yellow pattern completed to perfection. Retest, and now we are right here. This morning the price made it to 75.3k. We have to pay a visit, at least a very quick one, to every single important chart because things are shifting extremely fast. And if you blink, you're just gonna miss the most important information. Yesterday we have some signs of distribution, but things are evolving by the minute. And even as I'm recording, I am witnessing one of the largest liquidations, causing currently a rejection of 2.6k in the price. Very impressive. We talk about liquidity yesterday and we say we should be expecting huge volatility. Guys, if you like this type of content, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I put out one of these videos. And if you're wondering what happened with last night update and if you missed it, it's because you're not subscribed to Coin Bureau Trading. Yesterday I published there a video called Election Fake Out or Last Call. And the most important information was to explain that this W pattern in here with that breakout was a degen early entry for a potential breakout to the upside. And why I say degen? Because trading in the middle of the elections, particularly with them not fully completed, can turn every move into a fake out. I explained that we enter sub 60s, and for me this is not the time to enter in a position. But if you are that type of trader, this could be the last call to enter. And indeed, you can see what happened right after. And I don't know guys, but yesterday I sang a song with all my affection and I published it on YouTube dedicated to the megaphone pattern. What a timing, because we sang it right here, roughly 68, 69k. And I think Bitcoin heard the song and got inspired to complete the pattern. So we are going to do due diligence and we are going to take a screenshot of this for the future. Let's get on with the video. November starting to look green once again. We are at 6.28%. We are very early in the month of November, but we have to say that at the moment the spirit is very high. You can look into crypto Twitter, and as people are waking up, everybody is starting to enter a little bit into the grid. I remind you that on Thursday, tomorrow, we have the Fed interest rate decision, and on Saturday we have inflation rate year on year. Don't forget what is the size of the economy in China and what kind of impact it can really have in the price of Bitcoin. These are injections of liquidity in China, and every time we see a spike of those, Bitcoin reacts as if it was the only thing affecting the price. On the monthly chart, we are above the level of resistance of 71.5, but we are on the 6th of November, so hopefully November is gonna put up a huge battle, and hopefully the bulls are going to win that battle because November pretty much decides what comes for the remaining part of the quarter. So I think if we manage to close like this, it's extremely positive for Bitcoin. And yesterday I was complaining that the searches for Bitcoin on Google Trend were back again pointing down in an election day. I guess people were just focused on searching about the elections, and now that there seems to be some sort of partial results going around, that's definitely now causing that people is searching for Bitcoin because that has had already an impact in the short term in the price. Now we are at 22. Some of the things that are flipping start with the monthly stochastic RSI. Just yesterday, this was pointing down, avoiding the bullish cross. Of course, with the huge help of the move of November candle from red into green, this is now in the territory of a bull cross. I won't give you all the detail of what this means when it happens at this level and at this time in the market. But based on these two occurrences that we have in a similar stage and similar timing, we have defined all of that in a previous video. Just go to my channel, scroll down a little bit in the section videos back in the past, and find this video that is called Huge Bullish Signal 6 days ago. That video is gonna tell you everything that you need to know about what happens if at this point in time we confirm this bullish cross at the end of November. Daily MACD is definitely having second thoughts in here. We started with a bearish cross, then a bullish cross, then another bearish cross, and now potentially, depending on how we close today, we could be putting another bullish cross. You can see in the data window, actually let's zoom in here, you can see that the blue is above the orange, at least as of now. That is at the price of 73,689. Of course, we don't need to go back into the red to undo this. Possibly just $500 down and this might be opening the mouth once again. Not a big deal, but something to consider. And here is the setup of the 4 hour. As a very quick summary, we have fake outs all over the place in the past weeks. We call this one a fake out on the 3rd of November. We call this one on the 4th of November a bullish fake out. It came back to the previous range and it used this area in here to produce a hidden bullish divergence. At this point in time, before we completed the W formation, when this was slightly like this, halfway through completing the right leg, I said if we complete the W formation, we're gonna have a degen early entry, and I put that in a video called "Is this a fake out or is this the last call?" And I say that if you're experienced, if you know risk management, entering after we did the full confirmation, that's what I said last night, could be a great entry. It can hurt, definitely. We are in the middle of an election. Tomorrow there's rate cuts. On Saturday, China is gonna talk about the economy once again. We appreciate last night that we were putting higher highs and higher lows, that this structure was not having any issues. We were just against resistance, probably waiting for more confidence coming from the elections to continue rallying. And I said, if the outcome is not positive, we could come back in here and that can hurt. But it seems to be that so far people are being really positive about the results, and many people front run this particular setup before we get any official results. Is there still risk? We're gonna look into that because there's still some food on the plate and the whales are currently feasting. So try to keep silence while you enjoy how they devour those billions of liquidations. On the daily time frame, we say that this area in here look like a great candidate for a bounce. We say that the momentum up until the moment we closed the day was pretty humble. Momentum was very low. We were hitting a resistance at 70k and the price was at 69k, and that was because once again price was waiting for more confidence, for more concluding results to continue the rally. And at the moment we have done pretty much 60% of all the way to the top of the range. We are seeing a battle in here at 73k. This was the previous all-time high, and it does matter what happens in here. There is a likelihood that we close the day roughly around here to pay due respect to the all-time high, but we have already put an all-time high, which is 75,376 as far as I know in the exchange Binance on spot. That is the price. There is a spike of volume above the average on the daily, but not as big as the move that we have on the 24th of August when we went to 49k. I would like to see this candle getting a lot higher to confirm the breakout. And I guess we can have that if price continues going higher and completes the job of smashing all these liquidations in red that we said end at 77k. Open interest once again spiked to 24.2 billion. There's probably a huge shift of the open interest from those shorts that were forced out of their positions into new positions from longs that are currently speculating and trading during the elections. It's good to see that spot is pointing down. We have seen some breakouts on Bitcoin where spot actually does the opposite than futures, or it does the same, but as soon as you reach a high, they immediately start selling once again. And yesterday I saw the distributions crossing above the ratio of 1 at some point. I already posted a couple of times during the day about those distributions, and in yesterday's video on CoinBureau trading channel, I spent at least 2 or 3 minutes explaining what to expect from that. Luckily for us, things are balancing out in the daily candle, and this has come back down from 108, now is back into 0.67. All that means is that there has been some withdrawals as well from big whales that are currently balancing out against all those deposits that we saw earlier yesterday. Long-term holders have no moves during this price action, which is very interesting. weekly timeframes, of course, are very pleased with what we are seeing in the price action. You can see, starting with the RSI, that we have come and touched the 63, 64 resistance that comes from this yellow line that was support during most of the bull market, except after we peak at 73.5 that we lost it. Right now, we are coming once again to hit it as resistance. So that 64 resistance, which is more or less at 74k in the price, is definitely going to be significant. Whether it's going to kick us back down for a little bit, whether it's going to send us back below this white line of support. Of course, I don't want that, but we need to be on the lookout once we start consuming the fair value gaps that we left before below the price today. Let's see what happens with this RSI. Very important, extremely important. Stochastic RSI happier than ever, at the top of the range and pointing up. What else can you ask for? And let's look at the scalping liquidity. This has not been useful during this week, starting from Monday. We just use it entering into Monday to speculate that we were going to hit the fair value gap, the CME gap at 67, which we did, and that was the pivot to go back up. I'm saying it hasn't been helpful because we haven't seen any red liquidity attracting the price to the upside. Instead, it was keeping us focused on 65. My expectations were that if there were bad news coming from elections, and I mean this in the way of how people prefer certain candidate to win, which is pro-crypto, not a personal preference, but if that candidate wins, the one that is pro-crypto, we were expecting to see a move up and loads of volatility, of course. In the opposite event, it was going to be so easy to hit 65k. 65k is still there, and at the moment we are seeing rejection at the all-time high. We are slightly below that at the moment with an M pattern on the 15 minute, and that is not necessarily a top for an all-time high and that's it for the bull market. Anything can happen, of course, but typically when you hit this size of liquidations, people take profits in this red area because they expect the price is gonna come to that, and they place all their ask liquidity in here to unload Bitcoin as well and to swing trade, and for many reasons really. As we were hitting the green in here, we also have moments, for example in here, the first time we hit it, we have a rejection. The first time we hit this, we had a rejection, and now we continue. And as we go higher, the liquidations are larger, so the rejections are bigger too. It is normal. It can be something worse, of course, but not because we see that rejection is the end of the world, if that makes sense. Do we still have liquidity in the close proximity? Well, now we have a rejection of 2.8, and price needs to go back up roughly $4,000 to complete consuming this. To be honest, from now everything depends on the official results and the rate cuts. So whether you want to take profits somewhere in here or you want to wait for results and you're positive on those, thinking that we can take the second half in here up until 82k, that's your call. If you wonder what I'm doing, I'm still holding. I sold at 73.5k in March. I've done tens of swing trades in the whole range coming down, and from the time we hit 49k I started heavy my accumulation. I have at least 3 or 4 entries in the past months to give me an average below 60k, so I'm just gonna run it like this. And we have had very impressive performance of the delta longs versus shorts. You can see that once again this flagged the bottom and it had a breakout. Yesterday we were below in here, there were still a battle longs versus shorts while there was no confidence on results, and now this is the 5th time that this plays out in a row. And I remind you that this and every single pattern has an expiry date. Once you bounce too much on it, there can be a breakdown and you reset. Is this going to be the time? No one knows. All I know that November is going to be packed with volatility to the upside, to the downside, in every single direction. I'm still happy about this pattern and I'm gonna continue to cover it in this channel. And what happened with the selling wall? Well, it feels to me that they kind of pull out beforehand. Of course, these blocks are quite big. and you cannot really see the big detail of what they did. My speculation is that they decided just to close down the position. Fair value gaps, very important. We have one of the largest fair value gaps that is currently being consumed. This was from the all-time high all the way to 69.9. It's a huge fair value gap of over $4,000, which is now being reduced only to 72,680 because the price is coming down and is in the process of consuming it. This size of fair value gap doesn't really survive for very long. I don't say that we need to consume it all, but creating some balance in the price is a good thing. Consuming them creates balance and allows the price to move smoothly with these swings high and lows to the upside, creating good structure for it to continue rallying. Otherwise, it leaves behind huge magnets that they bring back the price down eventually. The delta has now flipped into green, just like we saw in the delta from trading light, and this means that now the longs are at risk, and we are already seeing the results of that with the pullbacks coming and taking some of these stop losses and liquidations of all the people trading in here. As they take profits as well, that also brings back down the delta and the price. And today is the last day that you get the Cyber Monday to get trading different at discounted prices. If you use the link in the description, you get additional 15% on top of this already discount price. CPR made it almost to 76.282, and that is the first level of resistance. To continue in December, in January, in an uptrend, from the point of view of this model, the price must touch that level. For example, in here in October, we touch it, we cross it above it, and that told us from CPR model that we are moving higher. And that's what we are doing now. We produce a high. If we hit that level, we increase substantially the possibilities that December will carry on being bullish as well. If we fail to do that, if we close November and this is the high of November, then we increase the likelihood that the CPR levels that are gonna form somewhere with the pivots and the levels of resistance and support are gonna call for the price to come to the first level of support, the first red level. We don't know those levels yet because those depend on the price action of the current month. So too early to say, but all we need to focus is on hitting that. Pinching it will do the job, but this is too far to call it done right now. So hopefully we get there. There has been a small increase in the no change scenario, the probabilities for the rate cuts. I haven't seen anything indicating why, but it's something to note. And how are the markets reacting to this? Well, the dollar has increased contrarian to what we were seeing yesterday, and it has definitely broke out to the upside, which is really mind-blowing. This is not positive for Bitcoin to see the dollar rallying with Bitcoin. One of them needs to step back. It's going to be either Bitcoin or the dollar, but it's very difficult to sustain 6 months, a last leg of the bull market against a dollar that is strengthening. So hopefully this is just a momentary thing and we come back to what we were doing, which was to see resistance at the RSI of 58. Right now we are above that, unfortunately. Dollar, on the other hand, is now pointing down, nothing concluding, but it's doing kind of the opposite now, something positive for Bitcoin. And of course, Nasdaq, S&P are looking positive, are having some positive moves. Russell seems to be breaking resistance, not yet higher than 2446, which was the high of November 2021, but definitely reacting to the current political events. Guys, if you want to trade Bitcoin altcoins, have a look at Bybit. This exchange is a top-notch one. It offers $30,000 in rewards subject to trading volume, lowest fees to trade if you use the link in the description. You can also connect your Bybit to my website and get access to all my indicators for free. If you want a hassle-free exchange, 5 minutes to create as many accounts as you want without needing KYC or any subscription to a VPN, go for Bluffing. I created for myself 2 accounts to trade. In 5 minutes, I funded the account and I started trading with leverage, and you can use it anywhere in the world. Using my link in the description, you can claim up to 10,000 in bonus rewards subject to trading volume and the lowest fees to trade as well. I hope you have an amazing day and you continue enjoying your popcorn watching at the chart. I'm gonna leave the chart in here if you want to pause the video just so you can salivate a little bit more. See you on the next one. Bye bye.